Hi, I'm Philip Beyer. Thanks for stopping by. Interviewing new applicants used to be one of my least favorite things to do, especially after the umpteenth candidate. Being tired from a long day and feeling pretty much brain dead made it especially challenging. Now, prior to implementing our applicant processing system and considering myself a pretty good judge of character, I hired many employees on gut feelings. Some years ago, we moved our business to a much larger facility, and after weeks of logistical planning and packing, tons of equipment, furnishing, and files were moved. I was all up in the middle of it and totally exhausted, not to mention the cost was mind-bending. Now, even as the dust settled, in order to get back to normal, I needed to hire more people. So I placed ads for new workers and scheduled interviews with many who responded. The one interview I'll never forget was set for about 5 p.m., our normal closing time. By then, the last thing I wanted to do was interview anyone. But the applicant arrived right on time, and after all the customary greetings, I led the person to my office. Now, smiling my best smile and trying not to just collapse in my desk chair, I motioned the latest hopeful to have a seat. It was an awkward beginning, the applicant waiting for my first question and me drawing a complete blank as to what that question might be. At that moment, our roles might have been reversed. Wasn't the applicant supposed to be the one thinking, "Don't let them see me sweat"? I put on my most professional face while desperately searching my mind for a brilliant question that might draw out the needed information. A hiring interview should be at least coherent in order to make a good hiring decision. But a winging it interview filled with time-wasting, cliched questions will discern little about an applicant. After all, I was considering bringing someone into our company to pretty much live with us for years to come. Also, the applicant needs to have confidence that they'll be working and living with professionals. Unfortunately, sometimes too late, you learn things about a person that should have been discovered by a simple question you failed to ask during the initial interview. Before I learned about the power of systems, I often overheard business owners, including myself, say, "I just go with a gut feeling, and I usually get it right." But truth be known, in my case, when I got it wrong, I really got it wrong. When that interview just mentioned was concluded, I was embarrassed and a bit angry at myself. In fact, I actually apologized to the applicant for my unprofessional interview, saying that I was just too tired from our move. But the truth was, I knew full well the real reason for my poor interview. I didn't have a system for applicant processing. Yes, there is such a thing, and the very next day I went to work building it. It was simple enough to do, given a little time and research and the experience I had gained over the years. I developed several checklists of questions to be asked when interviewing various types of applicants, i.e. sales, production, and other positions. You can be sure different positions require some very different questions. As a result, we used our applicant processing system for years, and like most good systems, they kept on giving good results. However, the real test for this system came after turning most of the interviewing responsibilities over to our production manager. It was their first time doing that, so they stopped by my office for some directions. Well, that was simple. I just gave them access to our online operations manual that contained our applicant system and all its various documents. Affirmation came the very next day after the production manager had interviewed 2 or 3 applicants, and they again stopped by my office. They were excited to tell me, "The questions on this checklist are great." In fact, they said, "I asked the applicants every question on the checklist, although I thought some were a little bold." However, those well-considered questions really brought out things I might not have known otherwise. For me, now that was good confirmation. Then our production manager said, "You know, I believe now I would have hired the wrong person had it not been for this checklist. Did I mention great systems work? They really do.
A mellow